بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد: يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله يتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Now for us as Muslims, we realize that whatever's going on around the world, we try and take some sort of benefit from it by reflecting on what's happening, whether it's racism around the world, whether it's oppression, whether it's injustice. But again, for us Muslims, we make a reflection. We think about, okay, what's happening? Why is it happening? Is this happening to me? Have I got these qualities inside of me? We realize that Muslims all around the globe are being oppressed in different areas, in different countries. We find in the Uyghur Muslims, we find the ones in Myanmar, the ones in Palestine, different areas, different crimes, but the same injustice is happening. But again, are we in itself, we look inside of ourselves, are we racist? Are we doing this injustice as well in our own small world, in our own small communities? So this is very important to realize and reflect. Have I got these qualities that people are shouting about nowadays, people are protesting about nowadays? Have I got these qualities inside of me? So this is something to reflect upon. Now you have two types of racist people. Two types. One is the open type. He's very public. He announces his racism. And he opposes people and he doesn't really mind about it. That's that kind of racist. He says very clear words regarding racism, which are racist. But then you have the other type. And it's more covert. It's more implicit. It's more deep-rooted racism. It's something which we have inside of ourselves, but we don't even realize we have it. So the idea of racism is not there. Yani, I can say it myself, I hate racism. I don't discriminate and so forth. So the idea of racism is not there. You despise it. But it's so deeply inherent inside of you that you don't even realize that you are doing certain actions which are according to the people, the definition of racism. So, when trying to explain equality to somebody regarding whether it's man and woman, whether it's color, whether it's race, whatever it is, when you're trying to explain equality and discrimination regarding Islam and the Islamic perspective, it's difficult for other people to understand what the Islamic perspective is because they're not, they don't have Islam. They don't have this belief inside of them and they want to know about it. So what happens is that it's a certain paradigm that they see. Now what is a paradigm? Example, if I have a certain glasses and if I wear shades, sunglasses. So if I wear sunglasses, the outlook that I am looking at is slightly dimmer, it's shaded, it's not as clear because I'm wearing those glasses. In the same way, if I wear a certain glasses with red shades, so now I see the world in a red color. It's because of the lens, it's because of the shades. In the same way, what is our paradigm is very similar. Paradigm is like a certain lens that you look through. So the paradigm that we've been brought up with, for example, a Muslim family, a child is born and is grown up in a Muslim family. So once he's grown up, now its paradigm is whatever the family and the environment teaches it. This is the view of the world taught by the family. This is their paradigm. So if a non-Muslim comes to inside of a masjid and he sees, okay, all the men are praying together, there's no women there, they're at the back or in a different room or in a different area, it might seem a bit different to them because their paradigm is different. Their lens and their perspective of the world is different. So many times we find out that we see many pictures online where we find a white, like a baby and a black-colored baby. They're both babies, but they don't have no racism there. It's because of the way they're brought up. Then you find out that they have different perspectives in life. They have different perspectives in life. So the paradigm is very important. How? And that paradigm can be with a bunch of things. Our topic today is to do with racism. So now I'm going to talk about regarding racism. So you have the idea of racism and the ideology. Ideologies are dangerous. Idea is something that can come and go. I have an idea, it can go. An ideology is inherent, which is inside of you. So it's very dangerous because sometimes you hold something inside of you that you don't even realize you hold it. So it could be racism inside of you, but you don't even realize that you're doing certain racist actions or racist words or doing something which is thinking inherently racist. So it colors your perspective of seeing things and interpreting things. So sometimes it's like that. It's implicit. It's not clear. But is it inside of us? So this is what we've got to realize. In certain circumstances, a lot of this community is South Asian, yani India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, different areas around the area. Our culture is from there. A lot of the people, especially when you go to, for example, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India, even India, where you find Pakistan, you have Asians, but they have a darker skin. They don't have a lighter skin. They have dark skin. And then you have those who are now from the African continent and the indigenous people from Africa. They have a different color skin, but yet both is dark in a different way. But this is why we're talking about how racism actually happens even between one another. Even between whether it's this skin color or that skin color or a darker skin color or a darker different shades. Remember this, that black and white is something which is generally used. These words are generally used. Not everyone is black and not everyone is white because they're all just different shades. They're all different shades. No one's exactly the same color. It's never going to be like that. No one's exactly the same color. But we talk about stereotypes. This is very important here. Stereotypes. Example, the common stereotype in the media regarding Muslims is Muslims are. This is the what has been portrayed in the media, that Muslims are terrorists. Obviously, we know that only a very small percentage, a very few, have this idea of terrorism and so forth. But the vast majority are not. They're not terrorists. So we know this already. So, but when the stereotype is that all Muslims, it's not going to be like all Muslims are terrorists. It's not going to be like that. And we know that. So in the same way, we shouldn't really believe in the stereotypes of different colors. Oh, because he's a different color, he's like this. In the same way, we shouldn't have this stereotype either. So this is also important to realize as well. As Muslims, we shouldn't be stereotyping other people just like other people are stereotyping Muslims. So you find that a lot of the people are harmless towards you. Others, they're harmless. They're not doing anything. They're not being doing any harm towards you. But yet still, there's racism shown from our side, especially our community. So if remember this, that when you're stereotyping aggressively and you're doing it leading to enmity, hatred, and it's out of jealousy and it's arrogance, this is where racism starts from. Because you're doing it aggressively. So this is how very, very dangerous. Now if racism becomes institutionalized, the institution, the schools, the hospitals, the government, police, everything is got this racism ideology inside of themselves, that they're inferior, one is superior, they're down, they're up, and so forth. It's institution. Everyone realizes it. It's become so common. Politicians and so forth. It's inherently inside of them. And then it starts off small, and then it gathers pace, and then it becomes common in society. This is what you see nowadays. Common in society, that this color and this race is less, is inferior. Whites are more superior, so, and whatever you want to say. So when you are told one thing repeatedly again and again and again, you start to believe it. And it's not always sometimes a minority, it's sometimes done on a majority. So example, if you look at the African continent, when you look at South Africa, the whole apartheid movement, where you find the majority was discriminated upon. The majority is, they were of a black color. The indigenous people of Africa are dark, they're black. But then, what apartheid and the racism happened is because of the whites doing it on the other color. So this is why you find that it's not going to be just on minorities and majorities as well. So ask yourself a question, why would you be racist? Why would you be racist in a society where everyone's got this some sort of superior and inferior kind of complex? Why would a person be racist in this society? Number one, you lack kindness, lacking empathy, lacking patience, lacking love. If you don't have these qualities, or let's say you have these qualities of kindness, empathy, love, patience, then how could you be racist to another? Because your love will now dictate that, I shouldn't be hurting that person. I should be loving that person. Your love should dictate that. I should be kind to that person. Why am I being racist? So if you're racist, then with these qualities, then it's going to go against the love that I have, the kindness that I have. So why should a person be racist? In some circumstances, you find examples, some people that in your normal group of people that you communicate with every single day, you find people that irritate you. They just speak differently and it irritates you. They act differently and it irritates you. You don't like it. And it's annoying. It's really annoying. Whether some of their actions, whether some of their qualities. They're not doing it on purpose. It's just the way they are. It's just the way they are. So Shaitan then magnifies this small little quality of theirs, and then it leads towards hatred of the actual person. And then it magnifies, oh, is it because of his race? Oh, is it because of his religion? Oh, is it because of his size or whatever it is? So what is the solution? If I'm doing this, what is the solution? Many of the scholars of the past have mentioned that when you see a person with an annoying trait, with a different type of characteristic than you don't like, or that you don't get on with and it annoys you and so forth, and this jealousy might have been brought up and this enmity and hatred is brought up, you make dua for the person. So make dua for him. Whatever it is, just make dua for him. Make dua that something good happens to him, that he gets this, or give a gift. Then the criminality of what you're thinking will start to go away. And now there's more love is now between a person. Now you look at the good positives of him and instead of the bad qualities that he has. So this is now one of the solutions regarding this. Remember this, that if you don't know that you're racist, then you can't be remedied. Example, when a person is speaking amongst his friends, some of them are black, some of them are brown, some of them are different colors, different races, and you make a joke regarding one of their race. And then what happens, the person says, look, don't make this joke, it's racist. So for you, you just thought, is this a joke? It's humor, it's lightening the mood. But when that person says, you know what, don't say this, it's racist, he feels hurt. And he's called you out for the racism. And you didn't know, actually, you know what, this is actually hurting him. I shouldn't say this. So sometimes it takes for other people to call you out, for you to realize, you know what, I'm actually saying a racist joke, or I'm saying something which is racist and it can harm people. So then you can change. Now you realize, because someone's called you out, not all the time people will call you out. Not all the time people will call you out. You find many times in different areas around the world, especially in Pakistan, India, these areas especially, because a lot of the communities from their area, you find a lot of adverts where they find lighter skinned people and skin fairing creams and adverts and so forth that will make your skin lighter. And now they're calling for this. So she started mentioning the virtues of people that have blue eyes. So she said blue eyes are clever, blue eyes are like this, blue eyes are like that, and they were feeling, happy with themselves. But others with brown eyes, they started feeling inferior. They started feeling down, saying, oh, brown-eyed people are now more dumb, they're not intelligent, they are like this, they are like that, and so forth. So they made an experiment. This experiment was a normal teacher-student experiment, whether it's science or something like that, or trying to work out something, solving problems. The people with brown eyes, they took longer to solve the problem, while the one with the blue eyes, they were getting the encouragement, they took shorter time. 1 week later, the teacher switched positions and said, okay, those people with brown eyes, you're superior, and they started mentioning the virtues of brown eyes. Oh, they are like this, they're also clever, they do this and they do that. While the blue-eyed people are like this and they're like that. So the whole switcheroo happened, where talking virtues about one, now the other feels bad. Other feels inferior. The ones with blue eyes were feeling superior 1 week earlier. Now they're feeling different because now the virtues of the brown eyes people are coming in. And now when they were told to do a solving experiment, the one with the brown eyes did it quicker. So it has this inside of us. It's inherent inside of us. We see a lot of experiments realized because of this. That are we racist? Why are we feeling in a different way when someone is mentioning something regarding our race? So it's very important to reflect on what's happening, whether it's inside of us. Do I say certain things which I'm not supposed to? Or am I making certain things, certain speeches, certain words which are hurting other people? Am I inherently racist? It's something to reflect upon. Now we know that the ayats of the Quran, Allah mentions وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, that every single son of Adam alayhi salam has been honored, whether black, whether white, whether any color. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says all of them. Adam alayhi salam had his sons, and he came to Nuh alayhi salam. Nuh alayhi salam come and had his sons. He had his famous 3 sons, and he's mentioned regarding the tafsir of Adam alayhi salam and the soil that he was made from. What color is soil? Certainly isn't white. But regarding soil, it was mentioned from all the different parts of the world gathered together to make Adam alayhi salam. So this is وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. If you look at Surah Hujarat, in the 26 juz of the Quran, Allah mentions regarding the adab and the etiquettes of talking to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Then Allah then mentions how to deal with your brothers. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. That Allah mentions in the next ayats of the Quran, don't mock and belittle one qawm. لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خير. Don't belittle them. Allah then mentions in the following ayats, don't speculate about your brothers. إثم الظن. Don't do this. Don't speculate and rumors and so forth. ولا تجسسوا. Don't spy on your Muslim brothers. غيبة. Don't backbite, because it's like eating your dead brother, his flesh. It's like doing this. Then Allah mentions in the Quranic ayat, which I mentioned right at the beginning, يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. Yani Allah mentions, O mankind, everyone, not just Muslims. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى. Yani you have been created from one man and one woman. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا, and you be made into different tribes. شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِل, tribes as well. لِتَعَارَفُوا. Why different? Why different countries? Why different tribes? Why different races? Why different colors? لِتَعَارَفُوا, so you know, and then you can recognize one another. So then you can, when they come round for dinner and they're of a Arab descent or a Pakistani descent or a African descent, and then you know what to cook for them and what to make for them. So then you realize as well, إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم, that indeed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most karam, the most honored people is those who have taqwa in the eyes of Allah. It's all about taqwa. It's in the inside, it's not the outside. The inside that matters most is not the outside that matters most. Inna Allah alimun khabir. Indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all knowing, and He knows everything and is informed about everything that goes on, even inside what's inside of our hearts. So this is a time for reflection. Are we inherently racist or not? Work out and reflect regarding this. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to act upon what has been said. Subhanallah bihamdi, subhanallah bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.